Hey, I'm Adam Jusko from ProudMoney.com, and in this video we're going to talk about why you might get rejected for credit cards even if you have a good credit score. But before we do that, I would ask you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not already, and if you have already, I thank you for doing so. So, we talk a lot about credit scores on this channel and how important it is to do all the right things to try to increase your credit score, and in doing so, I think that sometimes we get kind of not confused, but sometimes we forget that just because you have a good credit score doesn't necessarily mean that that's all that matters when it comes to getting new credit, whether that's a credit card, which is mostly what we'll talk about here, or whether it's getting other types of loans. You sort of think, okay, well, I built my credit, I got it to a certain place, I should be approved for credit cards that I want, or I should be approved for other loans that I want. And yet here I am, I'm going after a new credit card that, I feel like I should get and I don't get it. Or I even know somebody else maybe that has a credit score less than mine and they did get approved and I did not. So I'm going to talk about 3 reasons why maybe you are getting rejected for a credit card or other loan, even though you have a good credit score. And the number 1 reason might be that you have too much debt. So you can build a pretty decent credit score and accumulate debt at the same time, because obviously if you have credit cards, you have minimum payments to make. You can continue to make your minimum payments for a long time, but be spending more than you're actually paying. And obviously then you can build debt at the same time that you're really building up a good track record of paying on time. And because, payments on time are the most important factor in your credit score, you can build up a pretty good score even while you're building up debt. So you may have been, getting credit cards in the past or getting other types of loans, but at some point, if you keep building up the debt and you go after a new credit score or a new credit card or loan, whatever, even if you have that good credit score, you might find out that the lender looks at the overall picture of you and says, this person has too much debt. We're not going to, give them another credit card and let them run up the debt even further, because at some point, something's got to give and someone's going to not get paid and we don't want it to be us. So if you have too much debt, if you keep, building more and more debt, even though you have this good credit score, that could sting you when you go after new credit. So number 2 then is either having too much credit overall, too much available credit, or having too much new credit. And so this isn't about actually having debt. It's about how much, credit for whatever reason you have accumulated over time. Now you can accumulate a pretty good amount of credit and not necessarily, hurt yourself. What hurts you a lot of times is if it appears that you are accumulating credit in order to sort of game the system. So if you're accumulating credit, you're getting a card, maybe you're doing it just to earn a bonus and then you're never touching the card again, or suddenly, you're accumulating, 7 credit cards when you've only had 1 for 5 years or whatever. These are things that are sort of red flags for the credit card companies, and they say, why is this person doing this? Number 1, if it looks like you're just going after bonuses and then moving on, that is sort of a way of them saying, okay, this person is not going to be a long-term loyal customer. They're just using us to get, what they can, and then they're moving on to the next one. And so that could be a red flag there. If you've been getting a lot of credit cards at once, it could make it look like you have a, specific reason that you're getting those credit cards. So even if you have a high credit score and you have a good credit history, if all of a sudden you want a lot of credit all at one time, the credit card companies might look at that and say, is this a person who's going to run up those credit cards because they have some either financial problem that they're in, or they're, just a fraudster who's been sort of, lurking for a while and, building up their credit in order to suddenly get that, get into that place where they can suddenly just blow up those credit lines, use it all, and then take off. So anytime that you build up too much credit or you're going after too much credit, regardless of the reason why, a new credit card issuer that you are going after a card from, or other types of loans as well, they may look at you and say, I don't totally trust this person, either because they could be, fraudulent down the line, or they're someone that is not going to remain a loyal customer. They're just going to use us and move on. And then number 3 is you may have income that is too low. So you may have had credit in the past. You may have always used it correctly. there may be nothing wrong with you in terms of, anything that you have done with your credit. But if you're someone whose income is in a certain range and you're going after a certain credit card that is, has a certain profile of who they want as a customer, then your income may be the main reason that they turn you down. If say it's a travel card and they are giving you a lot of benefits and they expect that you're going to put a lot of charges onto your credit card, and they can see through your income as well as maybe your past spending on your credit cards that you're not the type of person who is going to be profitable for them in the long term. Not that there's anything wrong with you, or not that you're going to take the benefits and run off to another card, but because you don't spend enough, you just may not be a profitable customer. And you have to remember the credit card companies sort of go up and down in terms of who they want and how many people they want too. So what they want today may not be the same as what they wanted yesterday, and it may not be the same as what they wanted tomorrow. When things are going really well, they may be trying to increase the number of, credit card customers they have. When there have been issues, maybe bigger economic issues where just, the whole industry is doing poorly or something has happened within their company, then it may be a time where they say, we're going to pull back and we're not going to approve as many people. Saw a ton of this back in 2008, 2009, when we really had the, kind of whole financial meltdown. It was very difficult to get new credit at that point. And then you see this can happen as, economics change either in the larger sense or with the individual credit card company. So overall, what I would say is credit card companies are in business to make money. So if you are someone that either looks like you may accumulate too much debt and, put them at risk of losing money, or if you're someone that's, accumulating a lot of credit, either, in a potentially fraudulent way, or someone that is going to, be an administrative cost for them, only for you to, get a, big bonus up front and then move on. Or if you're someone that, just is not going to be profitable because of your income, you're not going to bring them enough business. Any of those reasons, or some combination of those reasons, could be why you are getting declined for a credit card, even when your credit score tells you that you should be getting accepted. So, if any of those things are happening to you, think about, kind of who you are, your spending, how many cards you have, all those sorts of things. And maybe that will give you the idea or the reason why you have been declined. And of course, you can always go to the credit card companies and ask them specifically why you've been declined. You should get a letter telling you why, but a lot of times it's like one line and it's not going to tell you a whole bunch. So you can always call in and see if you can get a little more information as well. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Please go to proudmoney.com where we talk about other credit card issues and personal finance stuff too. Thanks for watching. Bye.